I think it would be good to address the elephant in the room first and talk about the departure of Henry Cavill, which, for my money, really took the wind out of the sails of this season. And I think it's the reason definitely a lot of the fan base wasn't as excited going into this year, because I don't know why they felt the need to announce Henry Cavill was going to be departing this show before this season came out, because I feel like whatever viewership decline they got for this year was in large part due to that.
I read somewhere it was 23%.
Yeah, which I'm sure
decline,
over the life of a show, that tends to happen. It's season 3, and maybe people didn't love season 2. And okay, fine, a lot of the fan base maybe would just naturally decline. But I think this was an artificial decline brought specifically on by the fact that your star, who is a huge draw of the show, was said to not be returning after this. So people say, what's the point? He's my main reason for investment. Why am I even going to bother with season 3 if my favorite part of the show isn't continuing past? I may as well just cut ties here.
Well, if I recall, it wasn't the studio that released the news. It was Henry himself who did it first.
But he would have had...
To me, that shows like a huge red flag on what was to come up during the season. Not that anything terrible happened during the season, but it was just him basically saying, hey, this production and the people behind it is not up to snuff of what I agreed to. And take it with a grain of salt, people, but he's probably the leading expert on the Witcher stuff, since he is an avid fan of it and just an actual expert. He has been known to politely, of course, correct people on set about what happens here and there. And yes, he would have had to had permission from the studio to release that information.
Yeah.
But for them to just allow it to happen before the season even comes out is really strange.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't understand why the marketing team thought this was okay. Or maybe they were really cocky and thought, oh, by this point, people will have... anyone who jumped on for Henry Cavill is just staying for the show, so maybe they won't mind if we announce the recast early, which it's Liam Hemsworth, and they clearly had that in mind already. Things had been going on behind the scenes. The fact that Cavill announced his departure so far in advance of the show, and they already announced the recast before season 3, his departure had been in the works for a while. So I guess they figured, why drag it out even more?